So, in this episode, work continues on the metal building, and we are making quite a bit of progress on the main structure. Well, progress is coming along nicely. It's really hot and humid here, but these guys are just pounding it out. It's neat how the whole thing just fits together like a puzzle. And pretty darn strong. I wonder why when I see hurricanes, I almost never see these metal buildings blown away. And I can tell they're really well built. This one I had a couple of options. Normally these things would span every 5 feet. I paid a little bit extra and got them every 4 feet. I also had the ceiling joist done in such a way that I'd have more headroom up there so I could build a loft. So far so good. The extension of the slab looks like it's working well, so there's no problems there. If you watched a previous episode, we had gone through all the slab and getting that all set up and the messes with that. And then finally the day arrives where the crew shows up and they start working on the building. And it's just a 4-person crew. And I'm just literally amazed at how efficient they are at getting everything together. They get the main structure up pretty quickly, just as a group of 4. And then they immediately start putting in all the different cross braces. They're getting up there on the roof and they're running these different beams. So the main supports are basically, I guess, 4x4 inch galvanized square posts. And then they've got these little standoffs up on the top. And then they kind of go around to the side. It's about 4 feet in between each vertical post on the long side. And then they start putting up this insulation that I've got. And what I'm using is, there's a number of different options. There's this woven stuff that's really, really expensive. I got the middle one, which is this bubble insulation, which is kind of like Mylar on one side. It's got closed air in it. And I like it. I think it works pretty well from an insulation standpoint. It wasn't super expensive. It might have been like $7,000 for all of the insulation, which is quite a bit. But when you look at a building that size, it's not too bad, really. The only downside to the insulation is it's basically made out of plastic, right? And you can see here, they're wrapping, before they put the metal cladding on the outside, they wrap the building with this insulation. So the insulation is between the structural members and the cladding. So it's really kind of basically sealed in there, which is kind of nice, except that the inside is, susceptible to getting scratches and scrapes. So I think the thing to do is, once the building is finished, I'm going to maybe cover that interior insulation with something that if things get bumped into it, it's not going to rip and tear the insulation, because it is pretty fragile. And it does work, but it's literally less than, it's like maybe 3/8 of an inch thick. It's not super thick or anything, but knowing now what I know, looking back at it, it came out pretty darn good. And then they will just take the cladding and they will screw that over it, so there's almost a little bit of a cushion there between the cladding and the insulation. I wonder what's going to happen over time if that insulation decays. Is it going to create a gap between the cladding and the structural members? I don't know, but I will probably add more insulation on the inside over time. I know that what I'm going to do is, I ended up having to reinforce by running some wood members across the inside because I wanted for my electrical. As you'll see, I'm reflecting back on this portion of the work, but it's really crazy how all of this arrived on a very small trailer and 4 guys. And some of those sheets of metal are like 30 feet long. They're just crazy. That whole length that you see right there, that is 60 feet across. And they just bang it out. It's pretty impressive, I would say. All right, so it's taken shape. This is really exciting. I mean, I've never had a building like this put up. It was just like a dream that I had on my computer one night. Wouldn't it be cool if I put a storage building, big workshop, something really big with a lot of room to grow into? And so this is my idea. And to see it come together is just really, really exciting. I
what appeals to me is just the blank canvas of it all. I don't even really know what I'm going to do in it. I just wanted something big enough that I could store stuff, move things around, and, you know, you could grow into it. And if you're going to do a building, you might as well, and you got the land, right? That was my idea. So carved out the forest here. And I needed to do this anyway because I needed a fire break, because this property is like really nestled into the forest and a lot of trees are starting to die around it and they were going to have to be cut down. So I stick this between the house and the forest, so it's a good little fire break too. But it came out really, really good so far. I'm surprised at the integrity of the building and how easy it was to put up and how strong it appears to be. There are a couple of issues I'm going to have to deal with. You see, the building is flush against this edge of the slab, but I made it about 8 inches too big on two sides because it was 1 inch too small, right? So I had to extend it, but I couldn't just put a 1 inch lip. That wouldn't work, right? So instead, I've got an extra lip that goes around two sides. And the reason why, and this is why I guess it's so critical to make sure that your slab is the right size. I mean, let's see it. Okay, they're cutting out for a garage door there. So the sheathing is going to come down over the slab, and it's going to actually, so let's take a look here. This illustrates a problem that I'm going to have with the building. So you'll notice on one side, this is on top of the slab. But when the sheeting comes down here, it's going to go over this, so it's going to actually seal the building, so any rain will never go in through this side. But I'm going to have a problem on this side. If it rains, it can actually get underneath here and flow into the building. So I'm going to have to seal this whole side of the building. But this is also up against the forest. There's not a whole lot of room for a lot of horizontal rain, so I'm hoping it's not going to be as much of a problem. I could also possibly put an awning over this large door here. I don't know, but this is my fault that I introduced because the slab was not. Otherwise, this would have gone over this and completely sealed it. But I still would have had a problem where there's a large garage door because there's just no way to completely seal that. So we'll see. I'll report more on what's going to happen once this is finished. But if you look on the sides, rather than center it on the slab where I'd have a problem on all four sides, I pushed it up against one corner. So you can see, there's my extension right here. It's already a little cracked, but it's two different cement pours, so that's not unusual. So this is going to rest on this footing, and that one's going to be 8 inches on the inside. But there's an overhang on the building on that side, so it really won't be a problem on that side. So it's only this side I have to deal with. This was a mistake that I made. My main mistake was not double checking the contractors, not assuming that when they said it was 60 by 30 perfect, it wasn't, it was 1 inch off. So, you know, you got to watch these people, and I'm out here watching these guys, and I mean, I'm gonna make sure every single screw, you know, see there's one missing right there. I will get them, I'll call them out on that. That screw's got to be put in. So I will just, I'm gonna, you know, double, triple check everything. So let's look at this, the insulation that I picked, this bubble insulation. It's not the most expensive option. It cost me about $7 grand more for this. And it's basically some relatively thin bubble insulation, you know, like a space blanket kind of thing. And it's sandwiched in between the sheathing and the framing. So I think this is kind of nice. I like it like this. The downside is if I run electrical, I can't do it here because, you know, normally I could possibly run some Romex through these little channels. Not going to be able to do that. So I still don't know exactly how I'm going to wire this up electrically. That's going to be another video too. But I'll figure it out. I like this insulation. It's white on the inside, so it's going to make it a little bit brighter, which is going to be nice. So it'll be all over the whole building. And of course I could frame this in parts of it if I want to later. So you can see I got one door there, there's a smaller door, and then there's the big garage door here. But Just the size of it is pretty spectacular. 16 feet high and even higher up in the center. But I've got a good clear 16 feet all the way. So I could put a loft up there. The construction is not too bad, galvanized. The welding is kind of crappy, but I certainly can't complain because my welding is even worse than that probably. But you notice they're not doing it everywhere. It's just every 4 feet or so they've got a little seam welded. The screws holding these things in are not the highest quality, but it all fits together so well. Good solid anchors into the footing. They're going to also put some Z-clips on here, I believe. The color of the sheeting just blends right in with the forest too. It's going to come out nice. It's darker than I thought. I hope it doesn't absorb too much heat, but I'm nestled in the forest anyway, so hopefully it won't be a problem. It's been plumbed for a bathroom. I don't really know what I'm going to do with that yet, but it's here. So we've got that. Little cheapy little door, but it'll work.
It was almost a last-minute thing, me deciding to add this 12-foot overhang along one side, so that instead of just having a 60 by 30 building, it would be an additional 12-foot by 60-foot, basically covered thing along the side. And I'm really, really happy that turned out. You can see them putting it together right here. And in future episodes, you're going to see all kinds of other stuff. I end up doing all the electrical to it. We're building an entire mezzanine inside. It's going to be really crazy once I get these guys done. And it's me, for the most part, doing everything else myself, and you can follow along with me. So be sure to subscribe and wait for more episodes to come. They are going to be pretty crazy. I'm tired just thinking about all the work that's been done. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and continuing to support my channel and my efforts here. It means a lot to me. If you'd like to find out more and want to contact me, you can go to wisdomstudios.com. That's my main website, and that'll have links to all of my other social media, Facebook groups, and other kinds of stuff like that. To find me on YouTube, it's going to be YouTube/wisdomstudio without an S, whereas the website is wisdomstudios.com. Until next time, thanks so much for your support. Be sure to subscribe.